And we are live here on Operation Lockdown. Basically, what you're watching is me trying not to go insane, being locked down in my house. Man, I just needed something to do, you know? So, like, I started this little video cast podcast thing, and it's going pretty good, man. So, today, we have a good buddy of mine, Stacy Brown Jr., going to be joining us today. Stacy's like a filmmaker, Bigfoot expert, right? You're kind of just everything, man. So, man, how are you doing?
I just do stuff, man.
Right.
I'm doing all right. I'm staying busy. I've been. The Skunk Ape Lives. We finally got it done, and I just submitted it yesterday to our distributor, so that's going to start moving. Unfortunately, he didn't give us a release date. What they do is they like put it on different platforms and shop it to different platforms.
Yep.
So, that's just something new we're going to try versus the old song and dance with Amazon. They're kind of greedy. They take a little bit more money than they should. Especially when you're driving the traffic there to their platform, which not really, you don't have to try too hard, but I promise you it's probably much easier to tell people, hey, my film's on Netflix, check it out, than it is, hey, my film's on Amazon Prime.
Right. Do you have Amazon Prime?
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, exactly.
I get the 2-day mailing. I get the stuff mailed to my house in 2 days for free. Yeah, I get that.
I got that.
Get your movie mailed. I get your movie.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Exactly.
That's exactly how it is. But for people that really don't know who you are, I want to kind of go into your history a little bit, man. You kind of hit the scene back. It's been a lot of years ago, man. When you and your dad filmed that Bigfoot. That's really when you guys hit the scene, right?
Yep. Okay, so like I had my first Bigfoot encounter. Didn't get it on film or anything. Wasn't expecting it. That was November 6th, 2011. And I went out there with like some GoPros and stuff. I was like, I'll make a little YouTube video. And so I did. Right. And I put this Crooked Vulture song over the top of it, so there was no audio except for the Crooked Vulture song. It's kind of like just like 4 or 5 minutes. It was stupid. It's stupid. I leave it on my channel. It's my first video, and it had 6 views. And some guy that worked on Howard Stern was one of those 6.
What?
Yes. Talk about what are the chances, right? So he hits me up. He's like, hey, you're what I'm looking for. Want to fly you out here to Dr. Meldrum's. We're going to make this sizzle reel for this TV show called Project Sasquatch with Dr. Meldrum. And you know this, but I'm more of a, if it sounds too good to be true, it is.
Yep.
And so I was a prick. I still am. Those things haven't changed. So I told the dude, I was like, get the fly a kite, brother, fly a kite. And he calls me again, and so like a third or fourth time hanging up on this dude because I think somebody's messing with me. He goes, do not hang up on me again. I want you to get on that plane. I will send you the tickets. I said, okay, you send me the tickets and I'll get on the plane. And then I hung up. And then the tickets came through. And I was like, oh, crap. So then I called him back. I'm like, all right, hey, bro, I didn't realize you were like legit. You got to figure I ain't never left this county, at that point. I mean, I had, but I hadn't like flown on a plane. I hadn't done nothing. I've been to Atlanta, places around in the South. So we got on the plane, went to Meldrum's, and that was going on. And that from the get-go, it kind of jumped. And then...
So is that before you filmed that Bigfoot? It was. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was before Dad got the footage. Dad got the footage in May. But like during that time, I was like obsessed with this. So I was like in the woods every other day, out there staying the night, multiple nights. And I quit my band, because I played music, which, by the way, I do have my guitar right here, and I wrote a song for your podcast. It's just a real quick. I wrote it seriously just a few minutes ago. So we'll see how this goes. And you guys tell me what you think. Okay, so here we go. The beginning kind of hard, but yeah. He's got small hands. You know what that means. There's a tiny little wiener sitting in his skinny jeans. All right, that's all I got. But, I think that's a good start.
It's a solid direction to be in.
Solid direction.
Yeah.
But anyway.
That's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. You're talented. I don't know why you would have quit that band back in the day. Like you had a future.
Well, so I thought we were doing good. We really were. We were making money. About 12 grand a year, which, for a regional band, it was decent,
Yeah.
And then I saw Bigfoot.
Everything changed, right?
Everything changed, bro. Because I'm like, wow, these things are real. I was so close. We can do this again. Why hasn't this thing been figured out yet? And then you kind of look around on the internet and you're like, oh, all right, that's why it's not been around yet. I completely understand.
Right.
So I go into this, I'm like full on believe it. I'm like, hey, bro, like these people don't even know the woods.
Right.
This is what we've done our whole lives. We didn't have shit to do. Like the internet still sucks out here today. I've been trying to send you, or like we post high strangeness videos. I'd be like, all right, you got to give about 2 days.
Yeah. I'm surprised that we're able to do this right now because typically we can't do this. Normally, like you can't even live feed, man.
I've moved into an apartment complex. And they've got okay Wi-Fi. So I can get 25 megabytes per second here.
That's not terrible.
That's terrible. That's crap, dude. Like, you realize they sell like hundreds of megabytes per second or whatever it is? Yeah, dude, that 25. Not 2,500. 25. And I did have 10, so I'm like feeling good about it, I guess.
Right.
You never know how good you got it if you've never had it like that.
That's right, man. Yeah, I get what you're saying, regardless. So I want to go back to the whole Bigfoot thing, man. So, for folks that really don't know the story about you and your dad not shooting, but like videoing a Bigfoot, can you tell me how that went down and a little bit about it?
Yeah. So we were out. I was working. It was May 8th. My dad hit me up and said, hey, you want to go camping tonight? Your mama's going to stay with Amanda. And I was like, hey, it's kind of raining. But he's like, whatever, let's just go. Let's go. And raining will hurt us. So we went. And, we hiked in about a mile to the site. We're grilling, we're playing some music. I had like some White Zombie. I think when we actually left the camp, there was a Muse song playing because I had to cut it out of my film. So I don't have the rights to it. I had to like work that audio to where it dipped it out. So we're out there and we hear knocks and I'm like, hey, that's it, Dad. That's him. Excuse me. Corona. And then they're like, what were we talking about? It's so
Bigfoot.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you. Okay, so then we head out of the camp and we go looking for it, and you can hear stuff running around in the woods, right?
Yeah.
And so then he stops and he's like, hey, there's something up there. And then I remember him saying, oh, it's a coon, So then he moved forward to try to, I guess, maybe move on the angle, right? Maybe kind of switch the angle of what he. But anyways, he kicked the palmetto, and when he kicked that palmetto, whatever he was looking at came out, right? And so I'm filming him with a handy cam, like from the second we leave the camp, I'm documenting the whole thing. That's how I was rolling back then. I cared about it, man. I was like, audio's on, we got the camera on, we got everything.
Yeah.
We had them little stupid in-ear. They're like for people that can't. They sell them in the Quick Express line at Walmart. They're like $20 ear amplifiers. I'm wearing those. I'm deliberately starting to call myself Batman and talk to myself. It's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So this thing runs out and he flips out, man. He's like running. I'm seeing at this point panic from an Army Ranger. Right. You know, you got your gun, you got your gun. Not necessarily like a panic, it was a panic. It was a panic.
He was trying to get ready because he knew something was threatening.
He's looking at him. You know, he didn't know what he was looking at. He thought he was looking at a coon because you just see two spots on this with a tree in the middle and two hot spots coming out. And then it just walks out. You know, and then when that happens, you have somebody who's out there, you know, I just beat cancer, out there with his son hanging out, not expecting this to bust out.
Right. So, dude, I'm going to bring up, this is really cool. I like this program. I'm going to bring up the actual video, and if you could kind of walk us through it as we're watching it, that would be really cool. Do you mind?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, cool. Can you see this? Can you see it?
Yep.
All right, cool. Let me jump over here and hit play.
Yeah, it's just going to kind of be more or less what I was telling you here, some graphics, right?
Here's the full clip.
This is the full clip once he hit record. He's seen it before, right?
And you see it like poking out both sides of that tree right there.
Yeah,
so it's big.
And you see this camera thing here, right? The camera thing. Those are brand new batteries when we left the trail. But so that steps out, okay? And when it does, he's like, we got to go, we got to go, we got to go. And he's turning and he's trying, he's trying to get back down the trail because he's up the hill maybe 2 feet from me, right?
Look at that, man. Look at the size of its hands. Like, that was the thing that I always thought was interesting. Like, yeah, the size of this thing's hands are crazy. It's like hockey mitts. Yeah,
that's what, when I asked Derek Randalls, because he was one of the few people I had talked to who I actually believed that was a researcher that had an encounter. Okay, so I believed Derek Randalls.
Yeah.
And so I asked him, I said, hey, man, let me ask you a question. I said, how big is the dam? Because, you still, okay, who's messing with us? We went through that. He thought I was messing with him. You got to figure this is a Tuesday night at around midnight. Not sure the exact time, but around midnight on a Tuesday night. And, dude, Torreya State Park is in the middle of nowhere. Nowhere, dude. It's like a 30-minute drive to get to the gas station by the interstate.
But, dude, I want to go to this footage that we're looking at, man. Look at the length of the right arm. Right. It's reaching back, holding onto the tree as it runs away. And the length of the right arm, man, if it swung down, it's going to be about its knees. That's not a person.
The trailing arm there, I always thought that was the left.
Yeah,
because when it moves, this is how I took it, is that when it moves, I don't know, redo it. I remember I thought the one that's down right now was its front arm.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because you see there? So it's the right hand pushing off of the tree because you see that one hanging right there. But you look how low they're hanging. Even when it's in motion, that left arm, that thing's still down there by its knee.
Right, yeah.
We're more like a mid-thigh.
Yep. Yeah, man. The length of that arm is just crazy, dude. Yeah, that was nuts, man.
So we go back. The camera goes dead immediately. He's convinced that the thing is going back towards the camp, which the way it went is the way we had to go. You know,
yeah.
And it wasn't like people like, oh, it moved off. It didn't make a sound. This thing sounded like a fucking freight train. Excuse my language. It sounded like a freight train running through the forest, dude. And that was another thing. As we're going back, because now once my dad's in his mode, you ain't hearing nothing. You know what I mean? He's like, get your gun. I've now pulled out my Ruger Red Hawk 44 Magnum. It's a heavy gun, a big gun. You could beat somebody to death with it if you didn't have no ammo. That was the thing. You know, that was one of the cells. By the you really tear somebody up with this. You got a good point there.
Yeah.
And we're going down the trail, and then he's off the trail. He's on the trail. I'm kind of guiding him because I know these woods at this point. I've literally been out here since November. Like I switched at my job. I switched to 12-hour shifts, so I'd have, you know, so many days a week, so many more days a week off. I just had to work a little bit longer, which it worked out because I was still getting home around the same time. I just had to go in earlier. So not a big deal. You know, I wasn't missing no time with the kids. And I sold a truck to buy equipment. Like I had 2 trucks and I sold one of them. I got this Ford Ranger for like $500 when my mom's company was closing, right? They sold me the truck for $500 just so they could say they sold it. The truck was like worth $6,000. It was nice.
Is that what you're still rolling today?
No, I sold that one because the other one wasn't worth shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that pissed the ex-wife off.
Oh yeah, I bet.
But so yeah, we, you know, then we got out of there, got back to the truck. We didn't have no batteries. So I didn't figure brand new batteries to go right out. Right.
And at that time, man, whatever you guys saw out there, I'm sure is gone at this point anyway. So, you know, there's almost no sense in going back after.
As we're moving back to the trail, it's not like go to the camp and the camp's right there. Camp's 20 minutes. All right. So you got to go down the damn dark trail now. You can still hear it. And that's the thing. We filmed one of them. There were multiple. There's no way unless the Bigfoot was creeping. And so any animals that were along that creek were then moving in a panic. But what it sounded like is like, just like the hogs do. They just come down the creek eating the food. And there were multiple ones because we would hear it on the left side. We would hear it on the right side. And there was no way for it to be the same animal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
do you think these things travel in packs, or do you think they're like a solitary animal?
I think probably what happens is once the young males grow up, and this is saying that they're an ape. Okay, I'm not sold, but like my theory, if they are an ape, is that what would make sense to me is that the males, once they get older, you know, they're going to challenge for dominance, and when they probably start challenging for dominance, they're probably not to where they can win that fight. So would be outcast to have to go look for his own, you know.
Dude, can you imagine 2 of those males going at it, just trying to like.
Right, dude. I've got 2 reports of that. I've heard 2 reports of that I've taken myself of people actually believed that they were killing each other in the swamp behind their house in Mayaca.
That's nuts, dude.
Yeah,
all right. So now I want to talk about what kind of happened next in your life. So, after that is about the time I met you. I met you back when we did the podcast 100 years ago, man, right after this happened. And then we both got a TV opportunity. We both got asked to be on Bigfoot Bounty. I decided to go a different direction. You decided to go with Bigfoot Bounty. And can you tell me about that experience?
Yeah, you know, it was cool. The whole process leading up to it was cool. You were on a team with some guy, and I was on a team, and then we got approached. Remember, me and you did a podcast. I think Bart Catino was our guest.
Yep.
And how many views did we have on that?
Dude,
and be honest
honestly,
with yourself right now. Be honest with yourself. It's like sometimes when I look at the things that's happened, it's like, come on, bro. Like we're talking about
30, 40, maybe. Like
maybe,
it wasn't hardly any. You know, it was crazy.
And then somebody calls up next day. They're like, hey, we want y'all to, be on this show, Monsters Underground. And when it come down to it, I made what I felt at the time was a bad decision.
You did.
I probably would have done that. Well, it worked out for me. I made good money.
Yeah.
I made good money. Yeah. Everybody else didn't make good money. I made good money on that show because I won the damn thing. But I'd asked my dad, I said, what should I do, man? And he said, well, if you think you can win it, then you go win it.
Right. Yeah, this is something that we've never talked about publicly before. We've always kind of kept it quiet, man. And so, I guess it's been enough years now where we could talk about it. But behind the scenes, you and I kind of made this deal where like you go that way, I'll go this way. We combine forces and we try to be famous. And man, that's kind of what we've been doing ever since. Like we've tried to like keep pushing that, but it's not always easy.
No, it's not. At the time it worked, you went and did Monsters Underground. I went and did Bigfoot Bounty, but Bigfoot Bounty was so fun, man. Like, I don't think I would have not had any less fun doing the other show. It was like, what do I want to do? Went and did it. And you go to the places and to do the things that I did was awesome. And then,
so for people who don't really know, man, what was Bigfoot Bounty and what was your role? And like, tell me about the show.
Bigfoot Bounty was a game show, right, on Spike TV. And they asked all these people if they wanted to be on this thing, but it ended up to 9 teams of 2 people, right? So it's kind of like Survivor-based Bigfoot game show. You would do a challenge to where you could win some tool to help you out on your hunt. And then they take you to a spot, they gridded it out. Now it is a game show and there are federal rules with the game show. We had a compliance officer there. So nothing you see is fake. All them results are real. It's highly against the law to rig a game show. Like they don't play about that.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, hey, dead ass serious. That compliance man, he left us with his number, even though we couldn't call nowhere. We were sequestered. But he was dead ass serious. He stayed there a few weeks and he's like, when I leave, he goes, these lines are going to kind of blur. He's like, they're going to add story into this as soon as I get out of here. And he said, but if you feel that you've been cheated, contact me.
Right.
And cool. They were very serious about the whole thing. So, and that's when people say, oh, well, it was a bullshit show. Dude, I got a chance to go to the hot spots, Mount St. Helens, Bluff Creek, all these places for free. Well, and get paid because I was getting a stipend. And then on top of that, of course I won. And then I got to become friends with some of the coolest people. You know what I mean? Like Dean Cain. I can hit that dude up right now. You know what I mean? That was like, never would have thought at the time. And so it was really a cool experience, to get out and do all that. And so like also Bigfoot Bounty, it was a $5 million project. They spent $5 million on that. So you got to look, there were 100 crew members when we first showed up. There were 100 people on crew. That's got crazy. The spot where we stand. And then this wall of cameras, bro. Cameras and lights. And I mean, dude, it was nuts. And then the most impressive thing I seen was the finale that they did from like a production standpoint. I've never had them cameras coming down on them cranes at you.
Yeah.
And rising up and like to look at their control room, how they were doing that. It was in the mansion where the Black Dahlia murders happened.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's
cool. That whole thing, dude. It's like, so anybody would have done it. You know what I'm saying? And another thing, I didn't go on there and say some shit that wasn't true. If it came out of my mouth on that show, it happened.
Yeah.
They didn't have to get me to lie. The stuff that was coming out of my mouth was so damn. They had never heard nothing like that at all anyway. I was just gonna let them go. You know. Now the fight with Michael Merchant, it was real. All right, I was legitimately pissed off. However, I'm down there getting into the cave, you know, rappelling, and they're like, "Hey, bro, old dude's talking mad shit about you, cuz."
So they were like pushing buttons.
I was like, "Oh, all right, I'll deal with that later." Because he would try to act my friend, you know. I knew what he was trying to do anyways. Greasy. But so then it's like we get out of the caves and they're like, all right, hey, we're going to the bar, man. I'm like, what? Y'all taking us to the bar?
You're like, yeah.
It's like 4 in the afternoon. And I get in there and the old dude, I won't say his name, but he's like, hey, what you need to drink? I was like, I'll just take a Jack and Coke. And he's like, nah, I want this to be good. I was like, oh, it's going to be good. He's like, no, I want it to be real good. And I was like, all right, I need 2 shots of Jack and a Jack and Coke when I get back from the bathroom. And I went and then got liquored up. And then I sat there, tried to eat ribs or something, sitting on the other side of the table. And I just had to look at him the whole time and just staring at him. And then I finally had enough. And I just started calling him out.
Oh, man.
You know, liar.
Yeah.
I was lying too. I was lying to everybody. Like, I was playing the game, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like, at the end of it, and that was the messed up part. At the end of it, like right after they sit there, we make our spiel about our evidence. Or no, this was before that. They lined up the whole rest of the cast. We didn't even know they was going to be there, but they brought all them out too. And then the Stacy and Dave, blah, blah, Dean Kane's all talking about us. And he's like, all right, let's look how your expedition went so far. And it is really just a highlight reel of us talking crap about the 12 people or so that are sitting behind us. I mean, it was funny, dude. And then I was like, yep, that's all I said. You know, when that tape ended, I was like, yep, it was pretty much right.
That happened.
But, you know, hey, it was a game show. I took it.
You had to manipulate stuff to make it work. I mean, it was kind of like Survivor, you know, like on Survivor, they're back and forth talking trash and like trying to get each other going and really playing the game, man. So you were doing that as well, right? Yeah,
you know, so what I did is like we were allotted so much beer a day, and it was like, yeah, that was our contract, the house, right? So like, because we also quit 4 times. That's the thing they won't tell you. Like nobody knows. Me and David actually quit 4 times. We quit, had our stuff packed up, cussing them out, load the vans up. Let's go. Like mad, dude. Okay, so the first episode, you see we've got primate DNA and we're going to save these teams are now held here. They got primate DNA. It was a coyote turd about that long. I was like, yeah, it's got primate DNA. It's got your primate DNA on it, homie. You breathed all over it. And I said, no, we're out. We're done. I'm not being made a joke. And I think that was the second time. I don't know. Then there were so many, like the checks didn't come home one time. And then so that everybody else thought, okay, hey, we'll let you work it out. No. I'm done. You told me you were paying me. You didn't pay me. I can't. My wife's at home. I'm the one that is the sole provider. I come out here to do this. My other job's not paying me now. I come out here to do this, and you're not paying me. And so, like, we were like, no, just go ahead and load. I'll go home and I'll go back to work instead of waiting 2 weeks. And then, okay, we didn't have to wait 2 weeks. The money could be handed over right then. You know, it could be direct deposited right then if it's that big a deal, Stacy. So yeah, I had to go make a big deal. But like with the coyote turd, we made them swab everybody's DNA
just to prove it was like just a coyote.
So you'd have ours on file.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? I wanted the hell no, because otherwise we would just all breathe in our tooth. Hey,
primate.
Put it there, it's got DNA on it. Primate DNA. You know?
Yeah.
And that was, luckily it worked out for them that they had somebody who didn't help themselves out when it came to the cutting situation. They told everybody to go out there and find something, and you had old boy go out there and say, well, we didn't find nothing pertaining to Bigfoot, so we weren't gonna waste your time there, Dr. Todd. Well, you're stupid. Polish a turd, bro. That's what they want you to do. Find some bear scat that's diarrhea, or possible bear scat, some kind of scat or some kind of hair, because like with hairs, all right, like nobody's actually coddled with the Bigfoot yet. We don't know what the hairs look like.
Right.
So take everything you can. They're testing it for free. We taking the best samples we got. So if we got a big old pile of poop and it's diarrhea or it doesn't really have no consistency, hey, we turning it in. Yeah, it's probably bear. Yeah. Whatever. I'm gonna polish this when I talk to you, because
it's TV, bro.
You want to know that I'm not wasting your time. I'm not wasting your time. I'm telling you why this could be Bigfoot.
Right. So you ended up winning that shit. It's $5 million Bigfoot bounty. Does that mean you won $5 million?
It was $10 million.
Oh, 10 million. My fault. I lost 5 million there somewhere.
No. I was part of the last team standing. So we got $100,000 research grant, which was good.
That's killer.
Cool. And Spike was really cool about it. Then after that, I got rolled into going. I went with Dr. Todd to the Ink Master live finale. That was fun. Dave Navarro was there, talking Bigfoot with him, and I was.
Dude, you were sending me pictures of wicked hot chicks, man. You're like, you're just you, man. I think you had like jeans on and like a sport jacket. Like,
oh yeah, hey, that was $400 coat, bro.
$29 jeans.
No, them jeans were like $180 too, cuz. I'd never spent that much money on a pair of jeans in my life. I never had money because, like, when I was married, I gave all of it to my wife. I paid the bills. All I wanted to do was just get a case of beer, and really it, So then you got $50,000 cash.
Yeah. Shit,
I'm about to ride over here and get this BMW, cuz. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what happened. Bought yourself a new sport jacket and a BMW. That was a badass car, dude. That thing was sweet. Oh, it was so nice.
Too much.
Then you wrapped that little bitch around a tree, right?
Well, yeah. But the amazing thing? I had a Dr. Pepper in the front cup holder. And when I hit that thing, when I run it off the road, when that dude run me off the road, that thing landed in the cup holder in the back seat and did not spill.
That's awesome.
I was like, what? Because I looked back there, I was like, why is my drink back there? How did my drink back there? You know what I mean?
That's funny. That's
awesome. It was cool, man. It wasn't cool, but it was.
But it was still kind of cool, yeah.
It was good though, man. That car was way too fast for me.
Oh, dude, that car was ridiculous. I think it was sweet looking too.
Like I couldn't.
I love the tag that you had on it, Skunk Ape.
Yeah.
That was awesome. But yeah, so after all that stuff went on, man, like everything started cooling down from Bigfoot Bounty, kind of like what did you do next?
We were pitching a show with a guy that created Bigfoot Bounty and Jersey Shore. We were pitching I don't know if I should say that. It didn't sell.
It doesn't matter now.
Watching with the stars, right? So we did like a sizzle reel with the guy from Justified and one of the girls from Glee, taking them Bigfoot hunting and stuff. And it was pretty cool. It didn't sell. A&E backed out. They paid for the thing though, which was cool. And then I got a call or no, it was an email. It was like, hey, we want you to be in a movie with Les Stroud and Tom Green. Well, yeah, I was like, once again, I was like, yeah, too good to be true. And that went on for a few months, but then it happened, and I was amazed, and they paid me so much. Like, it was dumb. Dumb, dude. They thought, hey, I ain't trying. I'm not bragging. I'm not saying nothing. They paid me $2,500 a day.
That's crazy, dude.
Yes. That was for the first weekend that I went, right? Then see, that's all right. This is also a reason why I'm thinking that it's too good to be true, because the contract sheet was for $2,500 a day. I was like, I'm serious? You know, I'm a commercial fisherman.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I still fished even though I'd still had some Bigfoot bounty money. That money, the Bigfoot bounty money, I said, I'm going to do exactly what it is. I quit working and traveled the country hunting Bigfoot until I ran out of money. Now, of course, I had to buy me a car within that.
Yeah.
And a jacket and some jeans. I had to look good. I had 3 jackets. I still got them. They're nice. But yeah, so then I fly out there and I do my 2 days. They cut me my check, right? And then I'm gonna quit smoking that day too, right? So I spent like $100 on like some vape stuff. Never used it. Never used it. Dumb thing. I almost bought a house because I had to walk through the hood in Cape Girardeau to cash my check, and there were like 3 houses for $1,200 a piece. I was like, I sat there and debated buying one of them houses, turning it around, putting like a HUD house or something there, you know, something that would.
Yeah.
Obviously, this was an area for it, you know. Hey, and they send a steady check. I was like, I want to sink $5,000 in. And my dad's like, you're an idiot. Walk out of the hood. You are. What are you doing in the hood? But that was like, if you get caught with that much money on you, the cops are gonna take you to jail.
Yeah.
You know,
true.
I didn't have a car. They wouldn't let you drive. It wasn't like they were renting me a car. But then they called me that night and they offered me a leading role in that movie, which was, I was like, what? They're like, yeah, we want you to play Fran Anderson. You'll be Les's assistant and Tom Green's nemesis. And I was like, wow, okay. And they're like, but you got to stay another month. I was like, oh. It's like the whole month of October, I think 2015, I lived there. And they renegotiated the rate of pay, obviously, from the $2,500 a day, but it was still very, very lucrative, you know. But it was also aggravating because they didn't know how much longer they needed me to stay.
Right.
And then some drama happened. I kind of caused it inadvertently.
No, not Stacy Brown Jr.
I can't help it. You know, you don't do certain things. You know? You don't take this man out with
that woman.
Yes. If you like her and we go to the store.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, man, I didn't know you liked her. Anyway, so that happened. That was a big deal. That almost like that stopped everything, right?
Did it really? Like it shut down production for a minute?
They fired her over it.
What?
Yeah, they had to recast her and then reshoot. Yeah, dude, it was a big deal.
Wow.
They kind of drug it out. It just the one-time thing was the thing, and then I still lived there for a month after that. So, you know, it kind of drug it out and got stupid, and it just started some animosity, I think, between production and certain people. You know,
Don't look left.
I was having a good time. I was just there. I was like, why are y'all flipping out, man? Just chill out.
But be a Stacy Brown Jr.
But it was aggravating sitting there because a lot of days I didn't do anything, you know, and then it became a task of holy crap, because there was a casino there. It was like, you need to save some of this money. You need to go. You've made like You've made a ridiculous amount of money in a month.
Dude, so you got girls, casino, booze, and women.
Girls and women are the same.
Oh okay. Yeah, that's right.
Don't make that
sound all right. I was trying to get more. I was trying to get more in there. You know, I got 4 fingers, bro.
Oh, we had parties. We had parties because it was like the executive producer, the guy that was funding the film. He absolutely loved me. It was like, I don't know what I brought out in him because he was older, but this dude he liked to throw down with people. He would like fist fight you just for.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I thought you meant like drinking or something.
Oh no, he liked to fight with people. He this one kid grabbed him on the arm. Sorry about that, bud. You know, just being nice. And the kid looked over at him and said, "Don't touch me." And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I only touched you because you're soft." Oh, and I was like, "Oh!" And then this guy goes and trying him, and I was like, "Wow, are you serious right now?" I'm thinking, hey, I'm gonna have to help out this old man. Nah. This old man's quite ready, willing, and able to whoop anybody's ass in this bar. And he enjoyed it. And so it was odd, man, because it was like he was almost vicariously, I don't know, I brought something out in him. So he kind of took me under his wing, and he had all the money. I was cool with it because I didn't have a dime. I'm just hanging out, bro. I mean, of course, that's the money they paid me, but dude's got real money. Oh, hey, let's stop in over here at this place. I've got a restaurant I own, and la-di-da. We'll walk in there real quick. I'm like, all right, I'm with him.
Yep, I'm with him.
At this point, you know?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, and, you know, and then after that, I was like, well, you know, I could make my own movies. After that.
So is that film out, dude? Can people watch it?
From what I heard, because I'm an investor, right? Because we shot over a few years. That first month was the crazy thing, but then the additional shoots, I wanted some stock in it because I was like, this is a pretty good story. You know, this may be funny. Tom Green hasn't made a movie in years, and this is supposed to be his first one back, but the movie never got done in time. So now I think other movies with him in it have came out, so they lost that. And I'm just not a fan of the movie. But anyways, so I became an investor, and I guess it's going to be in Redbox.
Okay.
Right? Like soon. Redbox and some other places. But I know they cut a Redbox deal. Or so they said. And it's just a comedy, you know. It's kind of raunchy in places.
It wouldn't be like your movie if it wasn't raunchy in places.
Right,
you know, like it is what it is. But so fast forward from that a little bit. So like you basically did this film, and it sounds like that really got you interested in making films at that point, right?
Yeah, mainly because I had done like when I was a kid, 17 or so, something like that. Me and my buddy would make movies, stupid movies, but they were great, dude. This guy was amazing. My buddy, and so we had made some movies, and I loved it, you know. But then I seen this guy doing it, the guy that just did this movie I was in, and I'm like, you know, he's not actually that bright. Like, I can do this. Like, I can do this way better than what you're doing. And that's my problem with anything in life. I'll see somebody doing something. I'm like, nah, I can do it better than you. I don't know why I have this like false confidence in myself, but it's like I'll see somebody doing something like, yeah, nah, I got you. You know?
Yeah, I'm the same way, dude. Like I used to like lie about jobs, you know. So like I would want a job, so I would go there and be like, "Oh yeah, I've done this before," knowing I ain't done nothing close to that shit. But I had so much confidence in myself, I knew that I could go in and do it, you know. Right. So yeah, I've definitely done that in the past, you know. But I don't know, like I'm the same way. I'm super competitive, and so like, yeah, I'm the same way, man. Are you competitive too?
Oh yeah, dude. See, that's where like Bigfoot Bounty. You know, I'm more like I would want to beat you just so I know that I beat you, and you know that I beat you, and there's
Right.
nothing you could do about it. That's why
Yeah.
I wrestled in school. That was my thing. That was what I loved. When I loved football, and I still do. I love playing it, but damn, it made me so mad when we would lose because it was somebody else's fault. When I found wrestling, it changed my life. I didn't have no excuses. It was me versus you, and if I lost, it was my fault, solely on my shoulders. I did something wrong. What did I do? So I loved that, because that was also another thing. Like, I was extremely confident, especially when once you start winning 9-10 matches at the beginning in a row and you don't lose, then you're like, oh, okay.
I'm good.
And then year 2 comes around and I realize hey, I'm actually really good at this. And then so I'm doing things like I shouldn't do, like reach out, slap them, I talk shit,
Yeah.
I ended up getting beat by a 5th grader, believe it or not, when I was in 8th grade. He weighed 220 and I was wrestling at $110 and he didn't have nobody to wrestle. And my smart ass got up and said, I'll wrestle him. I beat you. Ain't no problem. He's in 5th grade. I'm going to be so much faster than him. And I went out and dominating, in the 3rd round of it. I thought I had him wore out, and I tried to pin him. My coach told me not to pin him. I had no business trying to pin this kid, and I knew that. But I thought I had him gassed.
Yeah.
So I tried to pin him, and he rolled me over, and I couldn't get him off of me.
Too big. Yeah, too big.
Too big.
And then, so basically, what are you doing now? Like, what has all this kind of led you to? What do you got going on?
Well, because of that movie, see, it's like one thing leads into another thing.
Yeah.
It's like a snowball effect for me for some reason. And it probably is like that for most everybody if you just kind of apply what little success you've had, whatever it may be, you have to look at it as a success and then roll with it. But so we were filming The Skunk Ape Lives. I started making my own films and I went to take a leak in the woods and my buddy's like, hey, be careful, man. There's pits all over the woods out there and some of them are super deep. And that line even made it into the movie. So I come out, I was like, oh my God, there's my movie. So I wrote a screenplay in 3 days. Just right? Just this rough thing. And I sent it to Les, who we were trying to coordinate a Bigfoot documentary at the time. Our funding backed out at the last second, which was that was a bad thing. But anyways, he read it. He was like, I love it. I'll absolutely do it. And then so, we made The Pit, and that's getting colored right now. So that should be out. I don't really know when it's going to come out, but it should be done here soon. We ended up, me and Les did another edit to it, like a fine cut edit, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got a 60-minute version, which is probably what we'll release first, because if I had to pick my creation, my movie, it's my choice, what I want you to see, I could care less on the length of the film, right? You have different things at play when you're trying to sell a film. It has to be so long. You know what I mean? So your film may be good. It may be okay. It's like, hey, it wasn't terrible. It was good. It was good at 117 minutes. But it could be great at 60.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we did that with the first one. I think when people watch it, it's going to end before you know it. And that's the thing I love about it. It's like, I really just feel like I just started this film. So you're not dragging, you're engaged the whole time. And I'm just going to go from there, dude. I'm going to just continue to do the things that I like to do and nothing else.
Right. So you've also made some other movies. You did, was it Roswell? What is it called?
Yeah. My first one, Roswell, 70 Years Later. That's on Amazon. You can check that out. We rode out to Roswell. Really amazing trip there too. we had done a movie called Creatures, okay? And then, like, unbeknownst to me, some greasy, rat dude that was on my crew with me, who I trusted as my friend, who I paid to take out the Roswell. I didn't pay. The investors paid, but I got the money, you know?
Yeah.
Was selling my screenplay out in Hollywood of some chick who went behind my back. Like 3 people knew while we're riding around in New Mexico, knew that Miss Bridges was about to back out of the whole thing, and I was going to be out 10 grand, and they were going to do the movie with somebody else. A movie that I'd already done and was editing at the time.
And what's the name of the movie?
The movie was called Creatures, right?
Okay.
It never came out. Like, the other person was blowing smoke up her ass. They promised to pay her $1 million for her story. I didn't have that. Yeah. I didn't have that. So,
dude, I know her story. Her story is not worth $1 million. I mean, it's cool. Like, don't get me wrong, man. Like, the story's great. Like, they might have something living out behind their house. I mean, I've seen videos you shot me, and
there was some weird stuff going on. Like, that was like the lights and the other stuff, like that mainly we didn't talk about because we wanted. At that point, I was still convinced, hey, this Bigfoot's most likely an ape, and we're just having some other paranormal activity. There was some stuff that started going on out there. It was as good as the Conjuring story. And that's the thing. And that's what we were going to do with it. Because, like, you know, you got that haunted house at school. Well, you had this haunted property. It was just wasn't equally as famous. And that was why she goes, I wish somebody would do a movie like The Conjuring out here. I was like, hey, well, let's do one. You know, I'll pull in some people to come and shoot it, and we'll write a story and stuff. And, you know, it was because, like, the activity's not all the time there, or it wasn't. But it was just so in between. And then you had lights, you had, like, Native American apparitions. You know what I mean? Sasquatch. Black cats. Like, I seen a jaguar out there one day.
That ain't part of that.
That ain't no lie. I seen that with my own 2 eyes. I know what I seen. That was a big ass black cat. It was like and that was the thing. There was a hill, and I was sitting above it, walking above it, and I looked down, and I'm like, there ain't no way that is a cat looking at me through them roots. There was like this cypress tree had these roots kind of went up, or this oak tree was looking at me underneath it. And I thought I was just seeing like pareidolia. The cat turned around and walked down that creek. I was like, oh,
that's sketchy, bro.
Yeah. So it's just a lot of paranormal stuff going on out there, but their story wasn't known enough for $1 million.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know, their story wasn't all this, that, and the other, besides me pumping it up and finding Bigfoot coming out there twice. That was it. You know, the majority of the press she got, I was pushing that way.
Yeah.
And that was, they screwed me. That one, which is fine. You know, you got to learn who to trust. People are out to get you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What can you do? You know,
you just got to keep pushing forward, bro. Like, I mean, I don't know, like you and I have been doing this together for so long, man. We've kind of figured out who we can trust and who we can't, you know, and I think that's important. We're still trying to figure that stuff out every day. You know, we're lucky enough to get offers pretty often, and usually it's like working together. So I'm confident one of these days, man, we're going to end up on TV together again. Like, it's just a matter of time, I'm sure.
Well, you know, as long as neither one of us, and this is a little tip for anybody who may be on TV, don't go on television and say something that ain't true.
Yeah.
And because if you don't, chances are you can do this for quite a long time.
Yeah.
There's always, and I do a lot of them, you know, I've done, I don't even know, but there's like these one-off shows like Strange Evidence or something like that, where you may not be a cast member, but you go on and talk about Bigfoot. You know, which keeps your name relevant. And then you can get your products out there, do whatever it is you're doing, you know, not that just in for the money, but it's just like in for the content. I like creating content,
Yeah.
whether it's movies or whatever. But maybe I can start making a profit.
Yeah, right. That'd be nice. So we have like maybe 10 minutes or so, but I really want to spend that time talking to you about like what you think about the whole UFO phenomenon. I mean, you went to Roswell, you did that whole thing. And what is your take on UFOs? Like, do you believe they're legit or what?
I believe like, okay, I did. And they may be. All right. I did believe in UFOs. I have seen a UFO. I seen one on Bigfoot Bounty with the rest of the cast. We had a Bigfoot encounter after we all heard knocks about 30 minutes after we all witnessed the UFO. And I want to say there was about 16 of us sitting there watching it.
Wow.
No crap. Okay. So they do exist. But what are they existing in?
What do you mean? Like another dimension or something?
No. When I sit here and look at my life, all right, and then I look at some other things, and then so I've got a project that I'm working on with a scientist who like can possibly prove this, right? Does it sound so crazy that we're living in a simulation?
Yeah, initially,
I guess. I don't know. I have so many problems with understanding reality, I guess, because it some of the things I don't like. How many times can coincidence happen before it can't happen, before it's impossible for it to happen, like mathematically speaking?
I like the theory of all consciousness is nothing but like a hologram, essentially. It's just not real. And all of it's just made up by your brain. I like that theory a lot. It's kind of crazy, but it's interesting.
Right. I actually heard Roseanne Barr on Joe Rogan talk about it. And I was shocked to hear it coming from her. But she was talking about we created artificial intelligence however long ago. And that this is a simulation made by artificial intelligence. So because they feel this is the best environment for humanity, right? Maybe the system's about to restart. I don't know. It seems like it's getting towards end times. I think I do know UFOs are real, but I don't know what our reality actually is. Like, are we in a dome? Is the world flat? I'm at that stage where I'm just trying to explore everything because, A, I've not been to space, so you want me to take the government's word for it.
Right? Yeah.
Y'all feel free on doing that if y'all want to. I'm not that stupid, man. And that's the thing. People call me stupid. I was talking to somebody about 2 weeks ago, and they were like, oh, if you think this come out of some lab, you're dumb. You're dumb. If you think China did this on purpose, this virus, then you're just dumb. And I never thought it. I just, maybe the possibility. And then like over the weekend, we find out that China was restricting flights within their own country from Wuhan, but allowing them to go to America. Come on, bro. Like if y'all, why did y'all let that happen? Y'all did that on purpose. You know what I mean?
Right.
And no, it wasn't somebody eating a bat. They were working with a bat, and then they went back to the lab sick, and we just found this out all over the weekend. They just mishandled it. So I think questioning everything is kind of where I'm at, especially at this point in my life, because I don't know.
And that's how I think it should be, man. Like I think everyone should question everything because it's not always as it appears. You know what I mean?
What's kind of done me in worse was like we messed around and did an experiment for the flat Earth, right? And like I didn't expect like I thought this was just okay, one and done. No, hey, like maybe the Earth is flat, or like NASA's numbers, their equation for seeing the curvature is wrong because if you sit on the beach and you have the boat go out, you're supposed to lose it at I think about a mile. You lose sight of it, right? You do. But then you pop out the telescope. And not only do you see the boat, you see the whole boat. If the curvature at 2 miles away, if the curvature of the damn Earth is supposed to go around and cut like half the boat, you won't be able to see half the boat because you're on the other side of the horizon. You know, you're on the other side of the curve at that point. But then when you can actually see the whole boat, the name of the vessel.
Yeah, I was trying to think about like mathematically how that would figure out, because like when you're doing that, you're 6 feet, right?
I'll text it to you because I've got the numbers. I've done all this. Like seriously, it was an experiment we did.
Oh, I believe you. It's just I was trying to think about it. Like since you're 6 feet tall, let's say you're seeing down. You know what I mean? So like that distance may change depending on how tall you are.
Maybe that is, but we're talking about like a big difference. Like I was supposed to have not even been able to see the boat at a certain amount, right? But you can. And they obviously, I would think when they're making their numbers, they wouldn't make them from ground level. I can't see 15, 20 feet at that point.
I just don't know. Like that would be a cool experiment to do as well.
It's a very I'm not intelligent enough to know those things, but it'd be cool to sit in with somebody who does. You know, think about it.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Like I have great ideas, but I'm not very good at like executing them. Like
you know, you have to surround yourself with those people that you want to get it done with. So I guess I don't know. So that when that happened, that kind of threw me for a loop. I'm like, oh, all right, you know, like our government constantly lies to us.
Yeah.
What did they, and then they try to tell us they went to the moon and like dig into that. You know, if you get bored, I like conspiracy theories. Not that I believe in all of them, but damn, some of them.
That's one I'm really curious about, man. Like I've looked into it a lot.
You ever seen that thing that we actually went to the moon in? Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, a friend of mine recreated it. He actually built one, and it's ridiculous. Like,
they went through the Van Allen radiation belt in that, but we can't go through it today.
Yeah, makes you wonder.
We lost all the footage of the moon landing, and there was no blast crater.
Right.
And I got like 10 other things I can bring up, and it's just like the Patterson film.
Oh man,
people just ignore the truth. They don't.
I have a hard time with the Patterson film, dude. Like
I don't. It's fake.
Yeah.
I'm to the conclusion it's fake. I don't know what that means. Does that mean I stand with Bob or if I stand with MK? Why are y'all fighting over this? Y'all need to figure out if that film is real anyways. Y'all sitting here talking, and it's the thing I don't understand. They don't educate themselves on the certain things that they should. Like, what did film? They're all complaining right now about the color, right? Oh, MK colored, blah, blah, blah. If somebody's going to need to color it, you do realize that film in 1967 doesn't capture true color.
Absolutely.
Philip Morris claimed the suit was black. You do realize that it actually could have been black, but that camera and that film, the film at the time, how did they color grade things back then? How you think about this stuff? It's all in your developer.
Yeah.
It's all in your developer. So Hollywood has these high-end developers, but you know who didn't have one was Roger Patterson. So somebody had, put this stuff up. I don't know. It's how it's all handled and things like that, but
yeah, the coloring that you're talking about is a mess, dude, because like MK is using references that didn't exist. So he would have to find the right color on that film and know for sure that like this thing was white.
Right color, because look at the footage from like World War I, World War II, or World War II, where they color it. You've seen it on History Channel. It's World War II in color. They color the things. I don't know where they're getting their reference point. Maybe they just have a pair of the Army uniforms from back then. And so they do have a reference point. We have no reference point from that.
Right.
So you can start to color that. But the color in the color of the actual film that you're watching, that's not the true color that was happening there. So any argument about this is a red puddle, well, it would be black if it was blood. No, yeah. But educate yourself on what you're talking about. On film, it could be a variance of colors. It's not
Right.
going to hit you as bright as it would today. People
Yeah.
are arguing over the wrong things. And I was talking to Steve about it on his show the other night. And he seemed to not care. It seemed to be fine with him. I could be wrong, but it is a known fact, and you can Google it. Anyone watching this, please Google it. Roger Patterson sold 50% of that film to 10 different people before the film was made. You can't do that. You only have 50%. You know what I mean? Where did the other 8 go?
Yeah.
Where'd you get
Yeah.
them? Well, he lost in court. Those people sued him. And he lost. And he just so happened and drew a sketch. Like, y'all study primates. Find out where the fat in female primates, if you're wanting to say Bigfoot's a primate, if that's the boat you're riding on, find out where the fat stores in a female on a primate. It ain't here, homie. Do your homework, people. Quit.
It's funny. So this guy, Paul Haggerty, got on my YouTube. Was like, it's real, dude. I'm probably going to say shit that I shouldn't say to Stacy, but I really just don't care. So Stacy and I don't want to say too much. We got some information that really prompted us to look into creating a film about Patterson Gimlin's footage to prove it wasn't real. So we have a bunch of information that if
we both have. We both
have it. Like, we have enough proof between the two of us that if we found somebody to throw us a little bit of cash, we could create a film to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that Patterson Gimlin's film was fake. I believe that 100%, man.
That's the problem. These people don't care.
No, they don't. They don't want to, dude. They don't want to finance us because then they don't have anything to believe in. But I don't think that matters. Like, I believe it's fake, but I believe what you shot was real.
I still believe I've still seen a Sasquatch. I know they're real. I don't know what they are, but I know that ain't it.
Right.
You're talking about the one Bigfoot on the planet who just decided to stroll out in the open and not even care about it. Like, everything I know about Bigfoots goes against that film. I don't know, dude. It's almost like committing Bigfoot suicide because there's other people who I've talked to who are big names who share these very same concerns but won't mention it because they know what happens. And look what's happening right now.
Yeah.
You have the whole community stirred up, threatening an old man. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so if they did go kill him, who gives a shit?
Right.
Who cares, brother? You know, well, it doesn't make him a bad person. He had to feed his family as far as I'm concerned. And you're talking about in the 60s, up in there, up in that part of the country, you're backwoods. You're not civilized yet. Nope. Hell, there was still segregation going on here where I live until I think like the 70s.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were up in the middle of nowhere, man. And I wish that we had a way to go and tell this story. You know, I hope that someday we're able to get, a little bit of cash to be able to go do this because I believe that we can do it. I believe that we have enough information to prove that shit.
To an objective mind, to somebody who has no horse in the race, you would prove it to them. But to some, and another thing, oh my God, it blows my mind. The suit technology didn't have suit technology. But the film sucks so bad. Like that suit, it makes it look better than it actually is because it's hiding blemishes. You know what I mean? It's not a good document to state anything to living, to put so much faith in. I get it. Like, hey, Boggy Creek did it for me. I was like, wow, I didn't think Boggy Creek was real. Patterson Gimlin film could still do it for you, but it doesn't have to mean that it's real. I mean, the man drew the thing like 3 weeks before he filmed it. It's pretty close to it.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Yeah, man, that's really hard for me. When you really look at, Patterson, he was kind of shady, dude. He was a whole lot shady, like really.
Yeah, he's greasy as they come, man.
And, I don't think that Bob Gimlin is shady. I think that Bob Gimlin is the kind of person that will believe in people without questioning. You know, like how we question everything. I don't think Bob does. I think he just takes things at face value. You know what I mean?
You know, maybe. I don't know. I know Bob. I don't. He probably doesn't remember me, but I've hung out with him a few times, talked to him a few times, and you know, he seems genuine. Just because it's a hoax doesn't mean he has to know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I know there was some reason that he got cut out and Roger decided to go to the country with somebody as a stand-in when he was showing the movie. So was there some kind of, was there
animosities?
Was there something there to cause that? You know, did maybe Bob find out or was very suspicious of maybe Roger did just hoax this and so Roger cuts him out? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know if you follow the money, you find the truth.
Yeah.
And follow the money. Follow the money. You follow how it's praised and all that.
Even to this day, bro, like if you follow the money, you're going to find the truth because like people are still cashing in on that footage, you know? People are still cashing in on Bob Gimlin. Like they're still using that guy to pay their bills, man. So like if you find the source, you know, just keep following the money. Like you said, you know, you'll find the answer.
I'll leave with this one thing. Okay. Right. And this was before that me and you had done all this stuff. We were on Bigfoot Bounty and the EMT that came was his nephew. Claimed to be Bob Gimlin's nephew, right? He had a picture of him. I'm pretty sure it was him. Like,
yeah.
He told me, Rose Sahibi, Justin Smea, Michael Merchant, David Lauer, and then the two native guys that were with us. Well, no, not the one native guy because he was getting his knee taken care of. He dislocated his knee. That episode where he dislocates his knee, he told us that it was fake and that Bob knew it was fake and that they laughed and joked about it at the family reunions. How true that is, I don't know. This man, when we seen his last name, or however, somehow I don't really remember how it came up that, oh, you got the same name, or you something along those lines. Anyways, he's like, yeah, that's my uncle.
Oh, that's crazy.
And hey, you can ask these people. I'm sure Michael Merchant or Roe, Justin, I'm sure they all still remember it. How could they forget? You know what I mean? And him saying that, yeah, it was fake. And that was the thing. And I was like, whoa. But, you know, people say stuff. You know, you don't know that. I have no way at the time of fact checking, but that actually happened. And so that was, I don't know. Is his nephew an EMT? Is his nephew a paramedic? Because his nephew's a paramedic. Y'all go ask the guy. He told me himself.
Yep. Man, that's cool. That's a good way to leave this, man. You know, again, question everything because you don't know what the answers are really going to be. You just don't. And
it doesn't make you a bad person to have a different opinion.
Absolutely not. It means that you're thinking for yourself. You know?
Right.
But all right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging in there. It's been about an hour, so we're going to get off of here. And tomorrow, Stephanie Kelly Romano. Stephanie is a professor at Bates College. It's like an amazing Ivy League school. She actually teaches about alien abductions. So tomorrow, high noon, right here, I'll be talking with Stephanie. But thanks again, Stacy, for hanging out and chatting with me, brother. You know, I'm sure I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, dude. Later on, homie.